Well, all right. Glad you can join us for round two. Sometimes I do hardcore workouts and stuff, and other times I'll do a little bit more like what we're going through right now, where it's a little bit more of a hanging out, parlaying, and enjoying the process, and working on some techniques, and working on some ideologies and stuff for the techniques and moves, and thinking about stuff. So this type of exercises are important, these type of trainings also, because they're working on your fluidity, they're working on your harmony of mind and body as well. And then at any given moment, I might kickstart it and then jump into something much more strenuous or intense, back and forth. So here we are, and as promised, we're going to work on a little bit of movement and motion and stuff. We're going to play the angles. What am I doing here? A little bit of stretch and just stretching out a little bit and stuff. I'm not, what you see is what you get. One of my main things here is I've been trying to be very transparent, so I avoid trying to do these massive cuts and show you everything that's perfect and stuff like that, while trying to be respectful and everything. Love you very much. So here we are, and you're focusing, you get an idea of your center line and rotation. But because what's important is, like I said before, your punches and stuff want to follow your body and stuff. So there'll be a time and a place for that as well, and mix and match both. But there's also a time when you're intentionally rotating around your target. So your target is still in the spot that it was, and you're rotating around it. Other times you're moving around it. Okay, so one really cool one to help you with the rotations is that hook kick. Is not the hook kick, is the hook punch, the punch. Because that hook punch is naturally changing an angle, right? It's naturally coming from a new angle or providing some interesting angles. So if you could incorporate or combine that with moving and rotating around your opponent and throwing the hook, it's very difficult to guard against. It's very difficult to pick up or predict, right? And once you get really good at it, you can combine your movement into the force of the punch, because you're moving into the angle of the punch. The only thing that's missing is moving forward into the punch as well, like driving the punch through, which you could mix and match as well. But the hook has so much of that option that sometimes people throw the hook first as the beginning initiation of sidestepping and getting out of the way. You do the hook and you ride on the hook as a way to rotate and get out of the way. That is a known type of thing. Of course, in a lot of instances, timing is everything. But so keeping it really simple, right? You're watching, you're seeing this whole thing really simple, right? And just, punch, rotate back. If you've gone through the bobs and weaves and we did a lot of the rotating stuff, and I just did another video recently, and I don't know if I shared it yet or will share it, and it's over a half an hour of working on a lot of these little off angles, offsets, and rotations, rotating around your target. Okay, so jab, and then the hook, all with the lead. What I want you to do is I want you to practice your defense. I want you to practice keeping it defensive as well, keeping guarded, keep your hands in a good position and stuff. Don't need your hands to flail and go all over the place in order for you to break out of that position. So what I mean is, imagine you're standing in place and I tell you to quickly leap or jump out of that place. So the easiest way is to do something first, like either rise up or kind of gear up or chamber, or get those hands thrust out first, to sort of like as if you're reaching to break out of that mold. All right, I don't want you to do that as much. If anything has to do a lot of movement in order to get you moving, let it be the feet then. Let it be your feet. Let your feet do extra shuffles and stuff in order to get yourself into the shuffle. But try to avoid the massive flailing of the hands and things in order to get your leverage as much. because that's a weakness. That can be a weakness, it can be a vulnerability, and it can be identified by your opponent, and somebody can definitely take advantage of that. I can bait you into moving. And when I bait you into moving, if the first thing you're going to do is drop your hands or reach out in order to go in that direction, that's when I pop you. All right, so remember, we're working out together, right? We're just hanging out. You're listening to me wax poetic on the sweet science. So sometimes we go into a little bit more intense stuff, and then we can go back, get fluid and stuff, and you're doing the jabs, and here we're going back again. The thing is control. All right, when you can throw any of your kicks with control, keep balance, but doing them proper, but also have control, that's very good for your joints. That's a great exercise for your joints. Well, it's a great exercise for your balance, and it's a great exercise for your guard. So notice how I'm trying to pay attention. I'm keeping my chin tucked a bit. I'm keeping my hands, okay, forward, not flailing too much, and I'm throwing the kicks decently with decent technique, decent snap, and not very hard at all. It's more about the technique. All right, and another phase of just basic stuff, right? Jab, keeping fluid. See, move that head everywhere you go. If you want to play a game with yourself, then move out of the way of your own punch in a mirror way, right? So wherever you throw the jab, imagine your head behind the jab, where it is. Don't imagine your head in front of you. Just move out of the way of it. What are we doing now, folks? All right, so it looks like double front kicks, low, high. Gotta love the front kick. So remember to keep those toes up. Even in your shoes, you should be able to do it. You should be able to at least feel your toes going up and stuff. It doesn't have to. It's not exact science. It doesn't have to be rocket science. But the point is, whatever you do, give yourself a good possibility of not striking somebody with your toes. You don't want to punt somebody with your toes. Okay, you will break your toes that way. I guarantee it. How do I guarantee it? Because we've all broken toes and stuff. That's what happens. You're going to throw hundreds of thousands of front kicks. You're going to hit somebody with your toes. You're going to hit something with your toes eventually. All right. Having a good time. All right. So a lot of this is nothing new. It's just a day in the life. You know what I mean? All of your workouts don't have to be massive, especially if you have a passion or you start to really enjoy them. They don't need to be sessions that are brutalizing yourself. You enjoy the process. It's flowing. It's like dancing. It's always been like dancing for me. It's always been a very intimate situation for me and stuff. So, you're very closely connected to your body and what it's doing. And also this mindset, a mind state of imagining all of these things, from self-defense to just the pure absolute connection to it, not thinking about an opponent and stuff, and just thinking of the movements and trying to just enjoying them, right? Where am I going with this? What are we doing? All right, what's next? Looks like we're going to do some kind of rotating type of drill and stuff. 45s, right? This is like the 45s, right? Oh yeah, I approve. All right, what am I approving? Okay. So the rotation doesn't occur from the major stepping one, which we were doing a lot in other drills and stuff. Here, it's just a turning. It's a turning of your body. It's a turning of facing forward, facing left, facing right, facing 45 degrees right or left. You know what I mean? So the emphasis, the point is your rotations occur subtly and not from a significant stepping. All right, what do we got here? Okay. So sometimes when you want to, so we're doing doubling up on that, right? 1, 2 high, 1, 2 low. Sometimes when you want to punch low, when you want to punch to the stomach, you can bend and dip down to the stomach. Other times you can remain stable, consistent in the stance that you're in, and just aim low. It's up to you. Sometimes you can crouch and dip down as if you're going to go low, but then go high. Oh, wow, how confusing is that? Yeah, that could confuse your opponent. I mean, when you see somebody dipping low, naturally you think they're going low, right? You don't think that they're going to dip low and then shoot out something to your head. You know, not generally speaking, of course. Always assume a couple of, I mean, there's no point always imagining that you're fighting some layman. That doesn't make any sense and stuff, there's no fun in that. So the extra fun is assuming that whatever you think, however clever you think you are, whatever you think your moves can accomplish or whatever, imagine your opponent knows all about that. And imagine that whatever you think is your plan or whatever, that first plan didn't work. And maybe that second plan didn't work either. And what are you going to do from there? You're going to give up or you're going to keep going? You're going to reset or you're going to stay in the pocket? Reset means, you know what, maybe your opponent's getting too comfortable. Maybe you need to reset. You see that a lot of times if you're watching the sport or fighting or something. Somebody will just reset. They'll just, shuffle, hop a little and get away. They'll rotate. Both fighters might do that. And they'll rotate to a different spot and then they'll start up again at that new spot. I think noisy plane, maybe that's what I was pointing to, or just, who knows. Oftentimes when I do point like that and stuff, trying to be a little critical of myself, I might also be showing you how I'm off balance or leaning to one side or another. And maybe also in disbelief, like you've been doing this how many decades and you're still leaning over? Yeah, of course. This is a lifetime journey. That's the great thing. And this is not, I don't make this up in any sense of the word. I've had this conversation plenty of times with people trying to get in shape and stuff like that and trying to wrap their head or adjust to the mentality that comes along with it. It's a lifetime thing. It never ends. There's no end to the amount of push-ups or sit-ups that you do, because whatever you reach, there's another plateau. There's more to do. However many punches I do, there's more to punch. However fast I go, there's even faster that I can go. There's even stronger that I can be. It never ends. So sometimes, because we're thinking, well, my goal is to lose weight, so I can do all of this activity up to this point, and then I'll be finished. No, there's no finished. Because when you're done, finished, and you go back to your ways or whatever, or if you don't keep a healthy balance, then you go back to being unhealthy. There's no finish. You don't reach a goal and then you're healthy for the rest of your life. It's a lifetime thing. Don't hate on it. There's heaps of things that you do for a lifetime. Okay, one of them is being active and staying healthy and having a good balance and relationship with the physical. What's all this rant that I'm doing while we're doing all these exercises? What am I showing you here? These are just all practices and stuff. Yeah, obviously. Practices of different things. You see, so keeping the hand down, because I want to have fun feeling the dedication. I want to have fun just to boom, eh? Keeping that boom. Yeah. And then maybe a little bam, and all of a sudden there's no more words we're saying, so you want to boom, then bam, bam, and maybe two booms and one bam. No, but the point is, also think like a showdown. And what we're doing here is we're playing around with our dedication, our commitments. Some are snapping, some are driving. And you don't only do that through the execution of the punch during the punch or whatever. You can do that within your stance. So imagine like it's like a showdown, and your arms are by your side where your pistol is and stuff. It's like a showdown. And from that position, boom, draw, punch or kick. All right, so what do I have here? Okay, so this visualization thing, I'm gonna show you a little bit of details over here, right? So jab, and you're doing the uppercut to the body, and imagine your opponent fires through. So you're moving offline, you're doing a little bit of your rotation, right? And you're going to follow with that hook while guarding. Look at that right hand of mine. Look how guarded it is. Look where it is. Look where it is. I mean, and I'm aware, and sometimes I'm not. No one is immune. Sometimes you drop it. That's just how life is, man. You know, you drop stuff. In life, you drop stuff. Okay? The goal is to not drop stuff too much. And ultimately, the goal is no matter how much you drop something, the goal is to not get punished for it. Okay, so one way to help practice with your guards and keeping your guard up, you may not be ultimately where you are, but I want you to touch these key spots like the way I'm doing. Okay, touch them. From time to time, touch them. Okay, so that reminds you, wherever your fist is right now, okay, who knows, it could be next to your butt. It could be next to your pocket. Bring it back. Touch your chin. Okay? It's the same way boxers and fighters constantly bop their hands together that you'll see me doing a lot and stuff like that. Okay? These are reminders. These are reminders to keep the hands up. Keep them in front of you. Keep them moving. Keep them fluid. Keep them ready. Okay? Here's another type of style that you do. Okay? Find the position on your face and keep your hand there while you're doing punches. Because it's super easy to tell if you're dropping your hand when you're doing your punches from there, because you just put your fist on your chin. So you know if when throwing your punches, if you're dropping your hands, you'll easily tell. You're like, oh, well, it's not on my chin anymore. Get it back up on your chin, sir. Ma'am. Folks. Okay, so we're having a lot of fun. Some fun now. Just going to, yeah. You see, just sometimes exaggerate it because explore the full range. Explore it. Do I ever really throw punches like that, for example? Rarely. Do I practice? Or during practice, do I do punches like that? You betcha. Of course you do. Because you want to feel that full range. You want to feel the, you know, you're also exercising. It is also a workout as well. So I want to, you know, get those ligaments and joints and everything in you know, feeling that full motion and stuff. All right. What are we doing now? Looking all serious. Breathing through his 3-4 combination and claiming flow as well. Always flowing. So what's going on? What am I touching my hips for? Ah. Right. So look at that extra little snapping power that comes out of that. Boom. See that? That's a tricky one because it's not just the hips or whatever. It's almost a changing of angle. It's a changing of the level, the plane of the body on the vertical plane. Now there's another version of what I just showed you, okay? And there it's a little bit more on the horizontal one, okay? And again, I'm reminding you that when you're trying to get that extra snap, don't let your head do all this extra motion as well. You know, flipping back and forth or snapping back and forth. And of course, don't let your hands go weak or down because you're trying to gear up to throw your super power shot. Everything low. That's a good one. Notice the feet. One reaches the other. That's it, but they don't cross over. The turntables might wobble, but they don't fall down. Practice, 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 practice all these things. Get funky with it. And let me tell you how stuff gets unlocked. One way stuff gets unlocked. Classic way, okay? You see somebody else do it. It's classic. That's it. It's as simple as that. When you see somebody else do it, you're like, all of a sudden, you know it can be done, and it just unlocks it for you. And you're like, oh, wow, like, I guess, yeah, I didn't realize, or yeah, that makes sense. You see somebody else do it, and suddenly that's it. It still means you got work to do to be able to do it, but that first initial seeing somebody do it, that just unlocks everything. So play around out there, and who knows what you'll find. And then let me know. All right, guys, love you very much.